Welcome to Coast Vue, the show that every single day celebrates the men and women who are making coastal Mississippi such a great place to live, work, and play. And when I say that we're celebrating the men and women who are making coastal Mississippi such a great place to live, I have really focused a lot the last several weeks on this thing that I call sense of place, that coastal Mississippi is a very special place. It's a collection of communities. And each of those communities, from Bay St. Louis and Waveland all the way over to Pascagoula and Moss Point and all points in between, there's a special sense of place that exists in each of those communities. Now, some of that has to do with the downtown areas, like in Ocean Springs at night, you have the beautiful lights, and in Bay St. Louis, you have a very specific approach to the way they're celebrating Christmas. Some of it has to do with a lot of the efforts that are happening downtown, effort to just bring downtowns back and bring mixed use back to downtown and to revive the downtowns. But often it's the merchants that are in those downtowns that really give it the sense of place. That's why it's important for us to spend our money locally. 80 cents of every dollar we spend stays local. And it's the local merchants that I've said 100 times recently that are giving back to the community, working in nonprofits and sponsoring the baseball teams. And you know the story. But I think Christmas time is the time when local merchants really depend on us, and we're going to spend money at Amazon. We said that 1,000 times. The boxes are going to appear at our front door, but to the extent that we're able to allocate more money locally, it's not only going to help the local community, but it's also going to give you the opportunity to get something special that you may not be able to get from Amazon. And incidentally, as John Ray from Gulf Coast Business and Furniture Supply pointed out, the pricings are not always better at Amazon these days. And maybe they started that way, but that's not necessarily true anymore. So the reality is we have to spend money locally. And I've been working with local chamber leaders to find some great examples of businesses that we can introduce to you that are great examples of businesses that are bringing the sense of place to coastal Mississippi. And with all that said, I want to introduce my guest today. She is Abby Wills, who's the owner of Posies Puddles. It's a children's boutique in downtown Pascagoula, and someone I think you really enjoy getting to know better. But anyway, Abby, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Hey, tell me about your family.
My family, my husband is Kalen Wills. He's an attorney here in town. I have two little ones, Anderson Wills, he's 8 years old. Eliza Wills is 6. So I'm surrounded by grandparents and cousins, and my sister and brother are also in town and work here locally. So it's really nice. My two get to grow up with their cousins and grandparents and family all surrounding them.
Well, what's interesting, I love your story. There's always a family behind an entrepreneur, usually. You can't do it without the support of your husband and your family. And now that the fact that you have family nearby, I know really well because I have kids who have kids, and I know the role that my wife Ann and I play in helping sort of fill in the gaps for them, for the kids. But it takes a village to be a small business owner, doesn't it?
It definitely does. It definitely does. I'm so appreciative. My mom is actually working here today, right now. My husband is super involved with the process. My dad is. We were all here decorating for the holidays and getting ready for Christmas. And my children are very, involved. They're up here helping me. So it does. It takes a village, and I'm so grateful for everyone in my village, for sure.
I love talking about local entrepreneurs who are burning the midnight oil, literally, to be able to give us a unique experience. But what we'll do, I want you to tell people about your boutique. We'll come back to it in a second, though. We'll get into more details about it. But if you're going to explain it to someone on an elevator ride, how do you describe what your boutique is all about?
So I really focus on, it's kind of was just born out of my passion for classic, special pieces for children's clothing, and it has grown through the years, but just pieces that let children be children and dress like children, and we don't rush that, stage. So I really love classic pieces. I've now started to kind of grow and do some tween pieces also, so it's just a evolving process, but just special pieces for children ages 0 to 14. So
that's cool. I like the way you said rush it. We see that, social media sometimes gives us a chance to learn a little bit too much, but some kids are dressing at an age level they shouldn't be dressing at, You see that more lately. I wonder why that trend is there.
I don't know, and it probably is social media and the access that children have to that. And I hear it all the time, especially with that when that tween age starts to happen. I hear moms come in and say, "We're just having a hard time finding something that's age appropriate, but that my children will also wear." So it's been fun, and I'm learning a lot about that age. My children aren't quite there yet, so it's been nice having the brick and mortar store and having the storefront and seeing that tween population come in and get to try on. And it's important that they feel good, they're dressed age appropriate, and the whole family feels good about that, I think. So
Posies and Puddles. How did you get that name?
I got the name. I have a little boy and little girl, and I was just kind of thinking about, I wanted to have special pieces that heirloom pieces they can wear to church, but I also want to have pieces that hold up well, are well made, they can run, play, and I just know they're quality pieces. So it was I just wanted to offer it all. So that's kind of how that name kind of came to be.
So we're going to come back to your business in a second because it's playing out in downtown Pascagoula, which is in the midst of this sort of renaissance now. Yeah. It's amazing to see that. I recently, not too long ago, had the opportunity to walk around downtown with Paige Roberts from the chamber and see all the development that is taking place, this life that's coming back to downtown. We'll talk about that in a second. But Abby, how did you decide that you wanted to become a small business owner?
Well, okay, so my background is physical therapy, and in 2017, I had a 1-year-old little girl and a 2.5-year-old little boy, and 3-year-old little boy, and so they were 1 and 3, and I was having a hard time finding items locally for them, and so I was ordering or driving distance. So I was having a hard time finding those sweet little pieces locally, and it kind of was born out of my passion and love for children's clothing. And my sweet husband was supportive of my crazy idea and has been supportive since day one. My parents have been supportive. I was operating out of my home and packaging things in my home and doing everything in the guest room, and then eventually the garage apartment. And then in 2021, I opened the storefront downtown Pascagoula. And so it's just grown through the years. And it's something that was really important to me, and it always felt right at the time. So it felt right, even though it seems crazy that I did that at that time. It felt right to open online and started off as an e-commerce business. And then 2021, which was kind of a funny year, COVID years, it still felt right to open the storefront. So it's kind of organically happened through the years.
And it's so interesting to hear that evolution, and that they're literally in the midst of the pandemic, you're staying true to your vision that you wanted to have a storefront. But that took some you had to be brave to do that.
Well, I have, like I said, great family support, and they've been wonderful and so supportive since day one. Also, the best customers, and I say this all the time, I'm truly so fortunate. Starting out online and just using e-commerce, I kind of was able to build a rapport with customers in different areas with social media, but also locally, I started out delivering packages. When people would order, I would deliver the package to their door and build a rapport with local customers. So it kind of, I appreciate them, and they've been so supportive. And I think their support has kind of given me the confidence to continue to grow the business. Kind messages. I had one this morning. A sweet customer sent a picture of her little 4-year-old in her Christmas outfit, and she looked so confident and happy. And that kind of thing just gives me the encouragement to continue to grow. So.
I love the story, and what's embedded in what you just said is this intense desire to find what your competitive advantage is going to be. How are you going to win in this world with the presence of Amazon and all this other stuff that's happening? And you figured it out, haven't you? You figure it's all about it's about personal service.
I think I know I appreciate that, and I know that. As a working mom, I know moms are busy. I try to be as accommodating and helpful. I know Instagram was a great platform because, a lot of moms don't have time to scroll through a website and find everything. And on Instagram, it was, it pops up on the feed and you're like, oh, I love that dress. Or you can easily scroll through the feed. So that was helpful in the beginning. But I've just been figuring it out as I go. I think in 2021, with the brick and mortar store and opening the storefront, I think people are ready to kind of be out in the community and see the items, feel the items in a small storefront. Probably felt safe to do that. So I think that was it just has all just kind of worked out that way. But I'm definitely learning every day as a small business owner.
Well, I know you are. You never stop learning. I often say this, actually, and I'm a former publisher and CEO of a media company for like 16 years of my career before I retired. But at MS, I said it on my show many times before, but I think it's worthy of mentioning again that we never arrive, that life, you can never know it all. And in fact, the older you get, you better learn how much you don't know. And it's that thirst for knowledge that keeps you humble and keeps you searching. And, here I am 65 years old, and I'm still approaching every day like, gosh, there's so much to learn still. And as a small business owner, you never arrive. The day you think you arrived is the day you start going backwards. But
I completely agree.
We're going to continue the conversation with Abby Wills here in just a second. She owns Posies and Puddles in downtown Pascagoula. It's a children's boutique. And what a great, compelling story about why to shop local. We'll continue the story on the other side. Welcome back to Coast Vue. I say this a lot, I think. If I don't say it enough, I apologize. And that is that one of the reasons why I've had this opportunity, why I love having this opportunity to do Coast Vue in my retirement, is the fact that I get to spend time with people like Abby and hear her story. Abby Wills is the owner of Posies and Puddles. It's a children's boutique in downtown Pascagoula. And part of the reason why I invited her to be part of the show, with help from my friend Paige Roberts from the Jackson County Chamber, is to tell a story of what it takes to own a local business, what they do to work to find their competitive advantage, to give you a compelling reason why, if you want to buy age-appropriate kids' clothing that is worthy of being passed down from generation to generation, then this would be a great place to go. And as we continue this conversation, Abby, the thing that struck me, and we discussed this during the break, is that you cannot fake empathy. You cannot fake empathy. You're a terrific communicator, but what really comes out very clearly to me, as we talked in that first segment, is how much you care about your customers. Mm-hmm. Now, people can say they care about their customers, but they have a hard time following through on that. But you literally built your business based on the follow through and the long-term relations you're able to build with your customers. And you built brick and mortar based on that. And that's the key to your success, isn't it?
I think so, and I'm so grateful for the customers. And I say it, and it's even a new employee started recently, and I said, they're just so kind. Everybody that comes in here is so kind. It's a wonderful place. They have definitely given me grace as I've, learned being a small business owner, and they're so kind. It's just been such a pleasant experience, and I've loved the relationships that I've formed with customers through the years, those that have been with me from the beginning, and I'm just grateful. I really am. It's a great group of working moms or grandmothers, or, it's just a really good group of ladies and men that come in here and shop, and I appreciate all of them.
And as we discussed in the first part of the show, it does take a village. So you have a supportive husband, a supportive family, you have 2 small children. I know how challenging that can be, watching my daughter with her children and my son with his children. And it takes a lot. When you got both spouses working in today's world, it takes a lot of support, and you've got that. And we hear that over and over again. But you've got a family behind this business that has a story, and success is important. And when we support businesses like Abby's, we're making a statement on the kind of community we want. And I love this part of your story, that is, you were solving a personal challenge that you had in finding age-appropriate clothing for your kids, and you didn't want to have to do it over the internet. You wanted to be able to have a local relationship to do that, so you developed your business based on that. What I love about your story is the fact that while you have a storefront, you sort of built it, though, on a very relationship-oriented approach out of your house, with an internet aspect to it. So it's important, actually, in a business world, especially in retail today, to be able to do it across all those platforms, isn't it?
I think so. I started with Instagram. I built my website, Shopify, and I'm not super tech savvy. So that took a long time. And I just remember being very nervous about launching on Instagram, and I did not have that many followers or anything at the time. And I just remember being anxious about that. And it's just been fun because that has grown. My whole Instagram has kind of grown through the years. And but yes, I felt like it was so important. Instagram was very helpful early on, and that's really what I did to drive people to the website, just to show them the item, because I know it's helpful for me as a mom, a busy mom. I know it's helpful when I see something. It's just I kind of don't have a whole lot of time, so that's been helpful. But now it's really such a joy to have the brick and mortar store, and I love the combination of both.
So what you're describing, though, in a very humble way, is that you kind of became an influencer. Do you see yourself that way?
I do not see myself as an influencer. No, it's very much not about me. It's about.
Yeah, but you know what's interesting? Influencers are not always just about. It's not really about. It may be about what it is they're passionate about.
Yes, it has grown, and it's been fun to see that through the years. It has grown, and that has organically kind of grown too. I haven't done, the Instagram page has grown, and that has been nice, and I'm so grateful. It's been very helpful for me to be able to continue to grow and to have the confidence to be like, okay, I think I can do this storefront now. I felt like I could do it. So I'm very grateful that it has naturally just grown through the years. Yes, but I did start in 2017, so it's been a few years.
Yeah. Abby, what's interesting about doing business in downtown Pascagoula, and I say this every chance I get, if someone has not been to downtown Pascagoula in a while, then if you've been on the coast for a long time, your memory of it is the wrong frame. The downtown Pascagoula that exists today is the work and the vision of a lot of Pascagoula leaders who are really focused on bringing life back to downtown. When we talk about mixed use, what we're talking about is having sort of apartments up above or homes above, and then some type of commercial operation down below. But you're seeing an evolution of mixed use. You're seeing just vibrant restaurants coming to town. You're seeing people walking around. And because of its proximity to so many professional jobs, the long-term proposition for downtown Pascagoula is incredible. I mean, when you talk about downtown revitalization, it's happening there. And you've only been there for a relatively short period of time, but it's amazing what's happening, isn't it, Abby?
It's amazing. It's just been so fun to watch and be able to see, even the past year and a half. I mean, so much growth. There's such momentum right now. It's really exciting. I'm seeing people come from different areas and spend the day, shop, dine, and just enjoy. To me, it's a hidden gem, and I think the secret's kind of getting out about it. And it's been fun to get to see that and be kind of a very, very small part of it, but it's exciting. I think there's a great group of individuals here that just want Pascagoula to continue to grow. They're working so hard, and I am appreciative of it. It's a good time for Pascagoula, for sure.
You've got a mayor now in Pascagoula who was very successful, didn't have to be mayor. And we have a long chain of mayors along the coast, like Mayor Knight in Moss Point, for example, who wanted to give back to the community. And that's what you had there. But you've got a chamber that has completely redefined its role. I mean, they're more engaged in creating value in the community than they are. I mean, certainly they're your father's chamber still. They're very engaged in small business and all of that. But what they're doing to create relationships and work with investors it's amazing to see the role the chamber's playing, isn't it?
It is. The chamber has been so helpful with everything from day one. I so appreciate Paige and everyone at the chamber. They've been fabulous. Main Street Pascagoula has been fabulous. So I'm really grateful for everyone that's been so helpful with the whole process.
Yeah, it takes a lot of focus to create the kind of effort that we see in the downtown area. So exactly where are you located, and what's the best way for someone to find you?
So I am located at 710 Delmas Avenue. We are open Monday through Friday, 10 to 5, and Saturday, 9:30 to 12. I'm also on Instagram, Posies and Puddles, Facebook. Our website is www.posies.com. So it's different.
Yeah, sorry, we had a little interruption there, but we'll get Cal. Can you mute that, please? Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah. So it's but that is like in the heart of downtown.
It is. It is. We're not far from Scranton's, Johnson's Jewelry Store, some of those staples that have been here for a long time. So great neighbors. There's great stores surrounding us, great restaurants. We're really excited to be here. I love this location.
And that is so cool. So, hey, look, what's next for you guys? What's next for your business?
Well, we've been here for a year and a half, so the storefront is still relatively new. I hope to continue to grow and develop and learn, like we were talking about earlier. I hope to continue to provide the level of service that we've been providing, and just to continue to grow the business. And I'm excited to see what comes next. But we've been going up in sizes. So since we've opened the storefront, we have added some more tween sizes, and that's been exciting, and I hope to kind of grow that area a little bit more. So I'm just looking forward to it.
Hey, so how's business?
It's been great. It's been really good. I've been so thankful that I opened the storefront since day one. It has been wonderful. Community is so supportive. The customers are fabulous, like I've already said. So it's been great. It's been a good year and a half here. So
if you heard my pitch at the beginning of the show about why it's important to cast a vote for the kind of communities we want that ends up helping organizations and merchants like you. But Abby, if you were going to make your appeal to coastal Mississippians to spend their money locally, what would your appeal look like?
Well, I think you said it so well earlier. There's just a family behind all these local small businesses, and everybody's working hard to make the small business run well. And I think, the more we put into our community, the more we get out of our community. So I just think it's really important to shop locally and support these local merchants.
No doubt. And again, 80 cents of every dollar you spend stays local. It helps. What I really like is the thought that, Abby, as your business continues to evolve and you continue to add to it and succeed, that you become a great example for others, that it can work across, digital platforms and brick and mortar platforms, and be able to compete with the big boys in a very, very effective way because you care deeply about your customers. But Abby owns Posies and Puddles in downtown Pascagoula. And Abby, it has been a genuine pleasure. Thank you for joining me today.
I really enjoyed it. Thank you so much.
You bet. Hey, when we come back, we're going to have Matt McDonald from the Coast Coliseum. We'll see you after this.